So a few months ago, I downloaded the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. I think I was watching some podcast somewhere, and then I decided, you know what? I have been wanting to get back into meditation, and so I'm going to try the, I think a 20 or 30 day challenge to give it a shot and do it. So I did that, and the meditations weren't that great, to be honest. But one thing that did catch my attention on the app was that there was like lectures from from really smart people, let's say. And so one lecturer there was Alan Watts. And I had kind of heard of Alan Watts in passing and stuff, and he talks about like life and reality and existence. And so I started listening to him just for fun. Granted, I ended up not continuing to listen to him because I believe in God. I'm not, let's say, super religious, but I do believe in God, and I felt that he definitely wasn't religious by any means, and maybe he didn't even believe in a God. I'm not sure. But I felt that I was being pulled away from God, so I stopped listening to that. But before I did, he mentioned something that has stuck with me even to this day. And it was about how everyone in life is always chasing the kind of destination or the goal. Everyone is going after something in their mind that they kind of have fabricated. And it's true, everyone does have a goal. If I ask you, I'm sure you have some sort of goals in your life. One main problem, he says, is that when you go through life, everything is consecutive, right? Go to grade 1, go to grade 2, go to grade 3, 5, 10, and high school, and then university or college. Then there's the next step, which is, get married, get a job, have kids, get promoted in your job, then retire, and then die, right? And so everyone is always looking for that next thing. Hey, I'm gonna be happy when this happens for me. And what he says is that actually life shouldn't be a destination, which I think we all know at this point. But he also says that life is not even really a journey, right? It's not that it's a journey that you should think of it like that, but rather that life is playful. And that's the exact word he used, that life is playful. And I think that stuck with me because he mentioned that life is similar to a musical, like life is like music, or even dance. That when you dance, you don't dance for some sort of reason. You dance for dance. You dance because you want to express yourself. You dance to just dance. You don't dance because you want to get to one side of the room or because you want to end up in a certain destination. It's the action of dancing that is the purpose of dancing. And so he also mentioned that it's the same thing with music, that music is about experiencing the music. And that life in the same way is exactly that, about experiencing life. If it was any other way, if we were just there for a destination, or if there was some sort of goal to reach at the end of this whole life thing, then when we go to, musicals, or when we go to festivals, we would just come to the festival or the musical, and we would just hear one final note or the finale of the performance. Everyone would clap, and then we would leave because we would just be there for the ending, the finale, the destination. But in reality, that's not what we're there for. When you go to listen to music, or when you go to some festival, you go there because you want to experience the entire journey of the festival. And rather, not even, maybe journey is not the right word there. It's the experiencing of the festival from beginning to the end. It's the whole thing. It's the experience of everything. You don't go there for one specific thing. And so he mentions that in life, it's exactly the same way. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've been tricked before into picking goals that weren't actually my own goals. And only, let's say, recently have I started to understand what I wanted out of life. And I feel like a lot of times with the online space and entrepreneurship, goals are kind of pushed onto you. You think that first you compare yourself to others, and then you want to be perceived in a certain way, which means you have to have certain goals, right? You have to have some certain goals, and you can't enjoy yourself until you reach those goals. Now, granted, not everyone is like this, but I found myself in that situation many times in the past. Even once you do reach those goals, whatever the goals are, so you say, I'm not going to do this until I reach this goal, then you get to that goal. But what happens after that? What happens after that is that you just raise the bar. I was listening to a Mr. Beast and Cristiano Ronaldo podcast, or it wasn't even a podcast, it was like a video, and they were talking about how Mr. Beast wanted to get to 1 million or 1 billion followers on YouTube. And then they mentioned that, when I hit that, nothing's really going to change. I'm just going to extend my goal. So it also got me thinking, where you realize that whatever your goals are now, and I had goals when I started off. I started off just wanting to make a few $1,000, being able to, travel the world, basically doing exactly what I've been doing for the last nearly decade. But now my goals change and my goals shift. And the thing is, your goals will change and shift as you achieve your goals. I think that for those people who have achieved something, look back at yourself a few years ago and realize that you may already have the goals that you thought you wanted this whole time, but they will shift. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you actually make, because the only thing that matters, or the only thing that you're going to remember, on your deathbed, is the memories and the experiences that you've had in your life. And that also got me thinking about the 5 things that people regret the most on their deathbeds. And so, number 1, I'll just go through them quickly here. Number 1 is, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 2 is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd had the courage to express myself or my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends, and I wish I had let myself be happier. And so a lot of those, you can see, are based on other people's opinions and other people's perception. And I think that a lot of the times in this entrepreneurial space, we allow the grind hustle culture to infect us, because I think that there are some people who are just absolute killers and they just want to hit the highest, score on the leaderboards. That's great. There will always be those people. But some people just want to live a fulfilling life, live a good life, make a stupid amount of money. Okay. I'm not saying you don't need to make money. Of course you need to make money, but make money for an ends, right? For a means to having freedom, being able to take care of your loved ones and your family. Because at the end of the day, what is it, like, how many divorces, how many things happen over the fact that the husband or someone is making tons of money, but then neglects the whole other side of their family. They say that they do it for their family, but really they do it for themselves. It's always a balancing act. It's always the yin and the yang. And so I have to sometimes fight myself on this as well, because I feel like I also get pressured by the kind of reality in the entrepreneurial space. Realistically, if you just made $20,000 a month, for example, and I know for some people that might sound insane, but if you just found a way to make $15,000 or $20,000 a month online, with only taking 20 to 30 to 40 hours of your time, that is living like the dream for most people. Like, you wouldn't even be able to spend that kind of money on an ongoing basis. And I remember when I was first getting started in the entrepreneurial journey, one book that really kind of resonated with me was The 4-Hour Workweek. Not because I didn't want to work and not because anything else. My friends who are also in the entrepreneurial space used to tease me about that. They're like, oh, you just don't want to work, you're 4-hour workweek guy. But the truth was, it wasn't about the fact that I didn't want to work. It was about the fact that the life that was portrayed in that book was basically my dream life, where you can build a business, you can work online, you can provide for your family, you can have, a small, lean team. And I mean, I think for most people, unless you're like someone who's an absolute killer who wants to just get the top score, which, ask yourself, are you actually that person? Or do you just want to, be that person so other people can think of you in a certain way? And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, live your life the way you want to live your life. Find a business that you want to start. Work on the things that you want to do. Reverse engineer the life that you want to have, and don't just chase your dreams. Live in the present moment. Enjoy yourself. One thing that I'm doing now is, I'm going to be moving to Cyprus. I've been living in Greece for 1.5 years, and I'm going to Cyprus. And I remember when I was moving from Turkey, which I lived before I came to Greece, I would tell myself, oh, like, I'm going to do this and this and this once I get to Greece, and then I'm going to, whatever, I always postpone things that would have made me happy. And then looking back at it, I think to myself, damn, like, there's so many things I wish I would have done while I was still in Turkey. There's so many things that I wish I didn't postpone just because I felt like I couldn't give myself that freedom. Because at the end of the day, those are the regrets that you're going to have. And so now I'm thinking about my move into Cyprus, and I'm trying to appreciate every day that I'm here. I'm trying to appreciate all the things of Athens and Greece that I love. And so I guess that's my message. Don't allow the chasing of your dreams to be the reason why, your life slips you by. Because sometimes those dreams aren't actually what you wanted to begin with. And maybe you were brainwashed by the entrepreneurial hustle culture that we have right now.